guys, so today I'll be showing you how to make these infinity bracelets, and they are a KidToyTesters exclusive, and they are created by us. If you would like to do this tutorial on your channel, however, all you have to do in your video is mention KidToyTesters in your video, and then put a link to my channel, KidToyTesters, in the description. So that's if you want to. So it's optional. So anyways, I'll be showing you how to make this bracelet, but this bracelet is pretty much the exact same, just it's a teeny bit different. I'll show you how to do that though. So you will be learning how to make either one of these, whichever you choose. And for this, you will need 5 different colors, or if you want to alternate colors, that's okay, I guess. And 1 random color. I chose pink because pink is awesome. And you will need 1 C-clip also. And it does not require the loom at all. It just requires a hook. You could use a crocheting hook if you don't have a rainbow loom hook. So, just so you know. So, also, I will be using 2 hooks. You don't need to use 2. You could just use a C-clip instead. I find that 2 hooks is useful though for me. But if you don't have 2 hooks, you can always use a C-clip. So, and in the video, I'll be talking about like 7 and 6. What I mean is that for the bracelet to have more of this oval shape, one side has 7 and the other side has 6. And I'll show you what I mean by 7 and 6. So, as you can tell right now, it's just 1. What I mean by 1 is because this group of rubber bands, that's just 1. Then when I add another, it becomes 2, and you count these 1, 2, and then you add another, and it becomes 3. Yep. Okay. And how you can tell is because 1, 2, and 3. You don't count the one that's on the hook until, you know, you place new rubber bands on and pull it on. Then it would become 4. So that's what I mean. One side will have 7 and one side will have 6, so it gets the oval shape. For this one, one side has 6 and the other side has 6, so it's pretty much just 6. So that gives it more of a circle or circular shape. So whichever one you prefer to do, I like that one preferably, but you know, you can choose. So that's what I meant by that. So I'm going to put that away now because I have no use for it whatsoever. And let's get started. So first I'm going to take a C-clip. Then I'm going to take the first color I will be using, and I think I'm going to pick orange. I don't know why, I just want to do orange. Okay, so you're gonna take it like this and fold it over, and you're going to attach it with a C-clip. Sometimes I find it useful if you just pre-hook one side, and then when you put it over, it's easier. Okay, so it should look like this. And make sure that the hook is facing upward. Okay, so you are going to be using doubles. What I mean by doubles is 2 rubber bands. And so pull tightly on them and then slide this on to these rubber bands. And then hook these on so it looks like this now. And we are going to be making a chain of 11. This counts as 1, so far you have 1. And 2. And it kind of looks like a fishtail. So. And 3. Sometimes it helps if you pull on it. It's easier to count and to see. So 3. And 4. and 5 and 6. And once again, remember you're using doubles. You will not be using singles until I say, and you only use like one single rubber band, so. And that's at the end, so I'll tell you when you have to switch. I'm going to just count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. And we need 11, so 6. It's always good to just count where you're at. It helps if you know how many rubber bands you have, because if you place too many or too little, that can be bad. So you can kind of start to see it. Here, I'm just gonna double check again. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I'm at 9. And 10. And 11. Wait, no, almost 11. Oh, darn. Wait. So sometimes that happens. You just have to redo that one. And done. So now you have your 11. So you might want to push this down a little. And instead of having it like this and sticking it under, don't do that. Turn it so it's sideways. And you see how there are the 2 loops? Stick your hook through the first and then the second. So it's like that. So you should have a total of 6 on it. And when I mean 2, 4, and then 6. So it should look like that. Then you are going to grab the next color you will be using. And this isn't, obviously, it's not going to have 7 on one side and 6 on the other. So the only one that's not going to have 7 and 6 is the first. This was my first one. It looks kind of different from the others, but anyway. So what you're all going to do is grab the color of the next one you will be using. I will start to use yellow, because yellow is awesome. And you will be using doubles. I'm moving that single line. Kind of hard to show you when it's a yellow hook. So pull tightly. Pull it over and on. Pull that on. Then pull that yellow on. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take the C-clip out. Like that. And if yours falls apart, then you probably looped it wrong or something. So here's what it should look like so far. So now we are going to do 7 chains. So we have 1, and what I mean by 1 is we are counting that one. So it's 1, 2, and we're pretty much repeating the same process as this. 2, and 3. I'm just going to grab a pile and stick it here. It's easier for me to grab them. So 3, 4, 5, and remember we are going to 7. So 5, 6, and then 7. And right now, here's the bit where you could either use a hook or a C-clip. I am going to use another hook. If you do not have another hook, then just C-clip it. But I'm going to leave that hook there. If you don't have the hook, once again, just put a C-clip on it. So, and that first chain you made, so this one, turn it sideways and stick your hook through it. So it should look like that now. And you're going to use yellow again, and you're going to make a chain of 11. So what you're going to do is you're going to get 2, and you are going to pull them tightly and pull them through that first link. So it should look like that. And then what you're going to do is grab that one and pull it on. So that would count so far. Wait, now it would be 1. And we're counting this one. We're not counting that one. We're counting that one. So 1. 2. And we're making 6. 2, 3. And just a quick thing, if you want to make the more circular one instead of the more ovally one, instead of going 7 on one side and 6 on the other, do this 6 and this 6, okay? So you should have 6 on both sides instead of 7 and 6. So, just a quick reminder. So 1, 2, 3. And 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, and our last one, 6. Okay, so then what you're going to do is, if there's a C-clip on it, just stick it through, and I'm using the hook, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick it through. Same thing if you had the C-clip, and then I'm going to slide that one out. If you have a C-clip, take the C-clip off. So now it should look like that. And what you're going to do is you are now going to grab the next color you want to choose. I will pick blue. And you're going to grab doubles, hook them, and pull these off the hook and onto that rubber band, and they all should be on. So it should look like that. Oops. So it should look like that, and then we're going to hook the other blue. So you can kind of get the pattern when you're going through, and you can count it, and it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, yeah. So you're just going to keep doing that until you have 5, depending on your wrist size. For me, I need 5. If you want, you can make 6 if you have a bigger wrist, or 4 if you have a smaller wrist. I need to pull that for it. Okay. So now we have 1 and 2 and oops, I only hooked 1 and 3. And remember, we are making 7. So 3, 4, 5, and oops, Okay, and 6 and 7. Voila. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's always good to just double count. And that one does not count, just so you know. And once again, I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to stick it through the first one of that color I made, the first chain I made. So it should look like that. Then continue with the blue and make a chain of 6. So, oops. So now it is just 1, because you don't count that, the first chain you made, you count the one going out from it, so 1. Then it is, oops, I grabbed 3. 2. Then 3. And 4. And also this is great for if you're on the go and you only have your hook with you and you just happen to have enough rubber bands to make this. So, yeah. So I'm just going to count it to double check. 5. One more group of rubber bands. And 6. So once again, if you have a C-clip, just push your hook through and then take off the C-clip. A crochet hook also works if you want to use the hook like I did. So it should look like that. Now we are going to go to our next color. And my next color is white. So double, gonna pull it through to all of these. And it's always good if you're pulling tight. What I do is I pull it like that. And hook it. So far, it looks like this, kind of similar to my bracelet I'm wearing. Pull it through. And again. So we have 2 so far. Always be sure to keep track because it's bad if you put too many or too less. The shape could turn out different than you expected, or, you know, it wouldn't exactly look like this bracelet. Oh, okay. 3, and then 4. Always make sure you're pulling tight on this, because if you don't, this rubber band could get snagged and then it could kind of ruin it, what you did. 5. And 6. Okay, well I don't need those guys. Well, kind of do. So now you're going to get the purple, and you're going to, well, not the purple, the hook. Sorry guys, I'm a little zoomed out. So you're going to stick it through the first you made, just like the other. And stick it through, and sometimes, this is a really good example, sometimes if it hooks that, just push it down. And you are going to keep using the white, and you're going to make a chain of 6. Just pull it through like that. So far I have 1, 2, and this is a really cool bracelet also. And then three. Okay, yeah, that sounded awesomer. And a 4. Oh my gosh, I got caught. And a 4. And 5. And 6. And also, once again, if you're wondering the name, it's the Infinity Bracelet because it looks like it's the infinity sign. So then just stick it through. Sometimes it helps if you pull it down. That's why I like using a hook. You don't have to though, it's not required. It won't make a difference if you use a C-clip. Then you're going to pull out that. So it should look like that now. And you are going to use your next color and your last color. So we are getting very close to being done here. I'm going to use pink because pink's really cool. And really bright and awesome. And this is like neon pink. So I'm going to pull these over. And then we will be finished. No, I'm kidding. But we do have a couple more steps. And then we will be finished. I pull it through. 1. And then, oh my gosh. Okay, and then 2. 3. Then 4. 5. And we are doing good. We are almost done. 6. And then 7. Do that in. Then I'm going to stick it through the first link, being sure not to catch any whites when I go through. And you're going to go pink again, and we're going to go 6. Then we are going to do something a little different since we are finishing it off. If you are going to make 6 of these instead of 5, just continue. Okay, so then you're going to grab 2 rubber bands, and pull them through. Perfecto. So now you have 1 and 2 and 3. 4 and 5 and oops, okay, blah, okay, wait, no, they kept getting all like mixed up and tangled and stuff, so, and it's okay if you're mixed up and tangled. I just prefer mine not. So I'm going to count that now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So we're going to do the same as we've done before. And we're gonna stick it through like that. Slide it off the purple hook. Get off the purple hook. Get off the purple hook. Okay, it's off the purple hook. Now be gone. Okay, so it should look like that. And then what we're gonna do is we are going to, so we're gonna have it like this. Then, like, see how there are different groups of rubber bands at the top? You can just pick like a random one and stick it through. So just stick it through one of the chains at the top. Okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to grab a random rubber band. I'm going to use blue. And you're just going to grab a single one now. Pull it. Well, sometimes it does that. Pull it through the orange. Really hook an orange one with it. Okay, like that. Pull it over the pinks. And over that too. Oops. And then have them like that. Then now you are going to put the C-clip on it. Oops. There's one. And oh geez, that like I failed. Okay. And okay, yay. Pull it off, and stretching helps. So it should look like this. And voila! Your bracelet is done. Sometimes if you want to stretch it out, or open it more, or close it more. So, congratulations on making your very own infinity bracelet by KidToyTesters. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and goodbye, like and subscribe. Bye!